right, Stephanie, thank you so much for taking the time to meet with me today and allowing me to record this portion of the interview.
No, thank you. Thank you.
You're so welcome. So what I would love to do is talk to you a little bit about your housing experience. I understand that you were an HCV specialist, not here in Florida, but in another state. So why don't you tell me where that was and what you did?
Yes. So actually, I was a housing choice specialist in Texas, Abilene, Texas. I actually started off just in a one of the, I think it was like a attempt to hire program, and they liked me, so they hired me for the front desk. And then as soon as I started to learn the processes, then I was able to go back and be a specialist. But as soon as I was a specialist, I had gotten another job at another facility. So I went with the better option there. But while I was there, I definitely learned a lot. I had no idea what the Housing Choice Voucher Program was or what it entailed. Until I actually, was working there, and it is definitely necessary. There's a lot that goes into it. There's a lot of policies and procedures. There's a lot of deadlines, timelines, applications. And there was a lot of people that needed help, and they needed the help breaking every single thing down. Usually, sometimes they'd have to break down the application, the entire process, budgeting for them. So, I mean, it's a long process, but it's a very good thing for people that need it.
Yeah, absolutely. So I was just looking at some notes here about your work there. So you worked with about 3,000 participants when you were in Texas?
Yes, and they had them I don't know how every housing program was, but they had the manual folders. So like they like real people files and real paper was in there.
Okay.
And there was like 3,000 of those files. I mean, it was insane. I think I had to keep up with a lot of that. Actually, I was in charge of that.
Okay. You were there for about 2 years?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And I'm still good with them. I still talk to them. I'm still pretty close to them even today.
And you were doing inspections, the web applications, lots of phone calls.
Yes.
Now, we talked a little bit about certifications. And although you don't have the certifications at this point in time, that is something that you are very open to taking the cources and becoming certified if needed.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, perfect. And you are located centrally here in South Daytona, and you're looking for a permanent career next.
Yes.
Okay, great. Let's see. Okay, and then I was just looking to see if I had any other questions. What type of system, do you remember what system you worked with there, or was it like a proprietary or?
There was a system. There was definitely there's a couple of different computer systems that they used. Goodness, I can't remember. I know that at the very beginning, it's like there's the application that, the electronic one, and they have a paper one, but usually that system that the electronic application went into was the system that they were, like the computer software program they were using with everything, I think.
Did you use Yardi? Does that sound familiar?
What was it?
Yardi, Y-A-R-D-I.
That does sound familiar, actually. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I think that's a popular software program, right? Yardi.
Yeah, a lot of different apartments use that. I know our housing authority here in Daytona does use that. How are your computer skills?
They're great. I'm confident in that.
Okay. And then how do you learn best?
By I guess like doing it, reading and then applying.
Okay.
And then actually having somebody just watch me to make sure that, if I miss something, they can tell me right away, like, hey, you missed that. And I can go back and be like, all right, let me just do that again. Actually, when you told me about this opportunity, I actually went on to the HUD website to look at the certification to kind of like see what it all entails. And so I just kind of to refresh, it doesn't look bad.
All right. So something, having that baseline and having the experience and working in a different housing authority, I feel like your skills are certainly transferable. And the interesting thing that I also noticed that you were an admissions recruiter with Epic, the Flight Academy over in NSB. And I feel like that that work is also going to be, similar in nature. Like they're transferable skills because
It
of
is. No, it is. You're
the
absolutely right.
regulatory, requirements, making sure that everything is, exactly the way it needs to be, of course, because that's a very important job when people are, students are going up in the air, flying, getting their hours and
Absolutely. Yes. And
all that.
choosing a school, a safe one. Yeah.
Yeah. And then tell me about your U.S. Air Force. Tell me about that.
Yeah. So when I left the Air Force, I was a diet therapy craftsman. So that's like a 4D071. So that's like a management level. Like I would qualify for like a food service management position and whatnot. But the diet therapy role is working in the hospital, working with patients, working under the supervision of a dietitian. So doing the dining facility in the hospital, as well as like going up to the patients and getting their likes, dislikes, doing a lot of patient education, we would call it, if they have like a diet drug interaction with whatever like prescription medication they had, we had to tell them like, hey, you can't have certain foods and whatnot. I don't know if you're familiar with like what a dietary aid does or whatnot, but yeah. And it was a lot more that we did. We did health and wellness group classes as you like gained rank and you got more training or whatnot. And then by the end of it, of course, I was running the shift. And I mean, I think back to it, it was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
I think I did it with ease. I did try to recently apply for a food manager position, but I guess that didn't work out too well. But yeah, I mean, I'm a jack of all trades. I can do anything, honestly. Just give me the training and then I can focus on the training and get whatever needs to be done.
And that was 10 years with military experience?
So for the military, I was in for 6 years.
Okay.
And then I went to school afterwards for a while, but I worked with the Department of Defense as a pathway intern. Okay. Yeah, for the Freedom of Information Act office, privacy and agreements. So that was a lot of fun. Then I had my own business for a little while. And then I moved to Texas and then eventually here in Florida.
Okay. What brought you back to Florida?
My mom actually lives here and my sister, and I wanted to be close to them after I got out and whatnot. So I actually live across the street from my mom now.
Oh, I love that. I love that.
It's
all
nice.
Right. I think that's about it that I have for this part of the interview, but we still have to, work a little bit more and talk a little more about skills and what's next and all that good stuff. So I'm going to go ahead and stop. I'm just making some notes here. Stop this part of the interview, but don't go anywhere. We got a few more things to talk about.
Okay, cool.